Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, and my friends. We now know who the second DLC character is for Guilty Gear Strive, and that is Jacko. Now, Jacko looks about the same, other than, the new hair color and all that came with the story mode, but she definitely has a lot of gameplay related changes, and that's exactly what we're going to be going over in this video. From the stuff we can see to the stuff we have to speculate about, because there definitely is new stuff, and there's definitely stuff that has not been shown and makes me wonder what might be going on. So all that said, hey, let's get to it. So first off, before anything else, I guess, what kind of character is Jacko? Well, if you're not aware, she's basically like a pet character in that she can summon, as you can see on the screen here, her little buddies. And her little buddies do a lot of the heavy lifting for her. Now, things will be different for sure, because simply put, the little buddies, they work drastically different in this game versus how they worked in the Exard game. So for an example here, let's cut to how things work in Exard. Now, this might be a little overwhelming to take in at first, but that's exactly why we're starting with this example here. So in Exard, all the little friends, all your little buddies, all live in their homes. There's the punch house, the kick house, and the slash house, and they come out, and each little buddy has a different playstyle. If you want to think of it like League of Legends, there's bottom lane, there's mid lane, and there's top lane, and they all come out accordingly, right? And they'll all do all sorts of various attacks. So in Strive, things are going to change. Before, you'd have to place each minion spawner on the ground physically, and then the minions, they spawn from it, right? And you can also pick them up, you can throw them at the enemy, walk around, jump with them, whatever you want to do. And the longer the minion spawners are out, the more the minions do, it'll actually level up and start producing better minions. This, in Strive, has seemed to change a little bit. So in Strive, there is no more houses, there is no more minion spawners. You just place the minion yourself out of thin air. I guess it has to work this way due to the way, stage breaks and all that work, right? Because if you did a stage break, you'd lose all the houses, and so this is the way things have to be now. Now, it's pretty interesting as you can now directly issue them commands. As you can see there, that's the attack command issued. And on top of commands, you can also just boot them around, like very literally boot them around. So all the old house placements were like down, down, punch, down, down, kick, down, down, slash. I think now the commands might be down, down, punch, kick, slash to initially place a minion. And the commands themselves, I do think they are separate motions. She has an all new dust, and this is a big deal. We'll come back to this in a minute so we can keep on the minion talk train. Now with this little tidbit, this is very interesting. So there's no more minion houses as we've gone over, but she can plant and just pick up the minions as it were, like Toad or something from Super Mario Bros. 2. And you can hit them at all sorts of different angles, and the angle you hit them at will determine the angle they bounce at. And also, they bounce off each other. Now, one of the things I didn't see at all in the trailer is any of them attacking by themselves. I don't know if they can only attack with the minion attack command, as we saw earlier in the trailer. They also don't seem to move at all unless they are hit. They seem to just kind of stay in place. But with this new fact that you can ping pong them into each other, somewhat reminiscent of Venom, Sir not appearing in this game, right? So maybe she's stolen a little bit of the Venom function, as it were. So these are more kind of like chess pieces to move around versus an attack force that just kind of works by itself. The minions are also clearly labeled 1, 2, and 3. I'm assuming a different button summons 1, 2, and 3. Makes sense to me. 1, 2, and 3 also have different personalities. Here we see another command, the self-destruct command. The number appears above the little ghost minion's head, and when the countdown's done with, he will explode. As you can see here, also given the boot going all the way to Eno. So the primary form of movement for the minions themselves seems to be you kicking them around. Maybe not so nice for the minions, but it's pretty efficient for the movement. You can see here too, while Jacko's hitting Eno, every hit that also touches the minion moves it, so they're going to be a big part like combo structure and all that kind of stuff for sure, and probably a lot of impromptu combos. Here we get a glimpse at another command, a third command, which is like shield/deflect. So the little minion buddy will just put a little aura around them, and seemingly if the enemy hits that at all, they will be blown back. And that might be a combo okay state, not too sure. It's a little rough to tell sometimes in slow-mo. But either way, definitely gets hit, and there's a regular throw animation here. So at the very least, we have attack, detonation / suicide / explode, and defense when it comes to our minion commands. And that's the basics of the minion stuff we know about Jacko. Now, there's a lot more to it because there's quite a few unknowns, frankly, so let's talk about those. So I mentioned before, Jacko has a brand new dust. She does her stand kick and goes right into the dust, and the animation is really cool, right? But why would she have an all-new dust? Well, her dust system in Exard is very different. So this is her dust in Exard. And you might notice it takes meter. All of her dust attacks take meter. She has a lot of dust attacks, and they're all like, I guess you could say comparison, like say Street Fighter or any other game. Like, they're mini EXs. They all require meter to function. They're all decent at what they do, but they all require meter to function. This one here, the command grab one, at the very least, I know this one is returning. So before the big leak and all that kind of stuff happened, they sent me a press release, and this was one of the pictures in the press release, and it is very much that command grab, that giant Death Valley driver. Now, will this be still related to the dust attacks, like a mini EX move, or will they spin it off into its own move? I have literally no idea, but still, at least this move will survive into the game for Strive. Everything else, though, like her weird projectiles or quasi uppercut, all that kind of stuff, I don't know. Once again, she has an all-new dust. It's not the same dust as it already is in Exard, so things are subject to change. The minion spawners and all that are obviously one of the core concepts, and that did change for the game, but the whole dust / mini EX system she had going on, that was pretty much unique to her, and I would like to see how that will shore up in Strive. Another very interesting thing, which I didn't notice right away, is between all these clips, there is a difference. Sometimes she has her mask on, and sometimes she doesn't. It doesn't seem to affect anything I can notice. She summons minions in both. She kicks around the minions in both, like she can place them around differently. She can do commands in both with mask on and mask off. I don't know if this is just purely a cosmetic level change, but just usually when something about your appearance changes in your character at all in any given fighting game, that usually stands the reason something about the character has changed. And honestly, I'm just flummoxed. I do not know. If you got a great suggestion, by all means, post it in the comments below, because I got no idea. The only thing I can hazard a guess at is right here. During the trailer when it's the startup of her super move, it has this little hard cut here, and it shows between the masked version and the unmasked version. Now, either this is played straight, and if you just do the super once, it takes her mask off for whatever reason, or this is like a hard cut showing the difference between the masked version and the unmasked version of the supers. All I can really say right now is I hope it's just not cosmetic. I like more mechanics, more things to work with in fighting games, so I hope it actually does change the game some way, somehow. And that is our first look at Jacko in Guilty Gear Strive. So at bare minimum, obviously a different character. The way she worked before, I don't think really could have worked one-to-one in Strive anyways, at least with how the minions and houses worked. But I think they kept a lot of the spirit of the character because the minions are still obviously there, and she's still a very playful kind of character, so very happy with that. So she will be coming out later this month, and keep in mind too, remember, there is also a balance patch coming with the character. Now, they didn't explicitly say it'll be same day, but more than likely. She'll be coming out on the 27th if you have the season pass, and the 30th if you do not. So with a brand new character, and a character that's pretty wild by any given fighting game standards, and a whole new balance patch to work with, I think we got a lot of fun coming our way. But in the end, those are my thoughts on the matter, and I would love to hear yours, so let me know what you think about Jacko in the comments below, and otherwise, hey, that's the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Guilty Gear.